Hi, my name is Sandra Raak, and I'm excited to teach middle school at Untitled Christian.
So where are you currently at?
Right now, this is my home, but
Okay.
I'm teaching at Western Michigan University. If
Oh,
that's
you
your
are?
question. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I went to Western.
Really?
I'm a Bronco.
Right. Cool. Cool. Yes. So I am finishing up my PhD from Western, hoping to be done next year.
Wow, good for you. What
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
what's your field of study?
So I'm writing about 21st century Latin American literature. But kind of what brought me to Zealand was the realization that I don't want to do research for the rest of my life.
Okay. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, and I think I can. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to finish, but I don't think I'll be. I'm not as competitive as you need to be a professor. It seems to me.
Got
So
it.
yeah.
Got it. Yeah, what is I know that for English lit, it's pretty crazy competitive across the country. Is it similar
Yeah. So
for Latin America?
for Latin American literatures, it's just as competitive, except that you have to know 3 languages.
Oh, wow. What's the third?
For me, it's French.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think for English, they also ask you to have another language, but it can
Okay.
be like medieval English or something like that.
Okay.
Whereas for us, it's either French, Italian, Portuguese, those 3 mainly.
Okay. Okay.
And German. You can get away with German.
Okay.
But we don't have as many options in that regard. But yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been working on your PhD?
Uh, so 2020 is my 4th year.
Fourth year.
Yeah. So I started in 2017. So 2017, 2018, 2019. So this year is my 4th. The next year will be my 5th and last. Fingers crossed.
I just had a friend. He just defended his dissertation 3 weeks ago, so we celebrated for him
That's awesome. Where from?
Wheaton College
Okay,
down
sure.
in
Sure.
yep. So yeah, I went to seminary with him, and he moved on. Yeah, there was a group of 4 of us who were friends, and he's the first one to go the PhD route. I couldn't do it either. I couldn't do the research. It would kill me.
And I think I think it's okay for a PhD and to write a dissertation, but it gets more complicated as you move forward. Like as you find jobs and as you have to publish and stuff. I don't think I'm cut for that. So I taught at Western. I have been teaching at Western for 6 years now, and that's what I like. So
That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah. So what else about Zealand Christian attracted you here?
So
And welcome, by the way. We're really
thank
glad
you.
and excited that you're coming. Yeah.
Thank you. So the one thing that it's kind of funny to me, my husband went to Zealand, and my father-in-law also went there. But to be quite honest, after being in my house for the past 6 weeks, I'm just excited to see other people like yourself, and to get to know people. And I like the idea of the Mandarin immersion program that you guys have and the Spanish immersion program. I think it's phenomenal, and being part of that is just a privilege to me. So teaching alongside other teachers that have a lot more experience, I think that would be really cool. Because I come from a different background. I teach Spanish to English learners, so it's a different way of thinking about things. So that's exciting to me. Yeah, and just learn, because I think, as we teach, we also learn new things as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the immersion programs as well. We're putting our 4-year-old in the Spanish preschool this coming fall, so we're just thrilled. It's so cool to see not only the language, but just like the cultures of the different teachers, and then just the way that it affects their development as a whole. It just opens their mind to so much outside of the norm in, especially their parts of the Zealand community, and Holland community.
Yeah. So Victoria, my 3-year-old, she's going to be going to Mandarin and Spanish immersion. So we'll see what comes out of that.
Awesome.
I have no idea what's going to come out of it, but she speaks both English and Spanish. And I figure, if they have a Mandarin immersion, might as well see if she can figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely, her problem solving skills are off the charts, and I think it has to do with the bilingual piece, because they say research shows that kids who are bilingual have better problem solving skills. So yeah, it does affect the wiring in their brains. So
So you said your husband went to Zealand Christian?
Yeah. I really shouldn't tell you his name, because he was, yeah. There are some teachers at Zealand that still know him.
No way.
They taught him. Yep. And I mean, he's very smart. He's an engineer. He's very smart, but very stubborn. So his art teacher is still at Zealand. And he told me, just don't mention her that you're married to me. If they ask you about Aaron Raak, you don't know who I am, because I want you to start with a good foot, So
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm new to the community as well within the last 4 years, so I have
cool.
I have no preconceived notion of that name.
Yeah, but Aaron went to Zealand, and so did his 2 siblings.
Okay.
And they were all known for being very stubborn. And my daughter is also like that. So runs in the family.
Runs in the family. That's neat. So would you mind sharing some of your faith journey?
Sure. So I let me think. Okay, so I grew up in a Christian family. Mom and dad they're both Christian. And even though I always grew up in this environment, I didn't develop a relationship with Christ until I was in my 20s, which is a little late in life, than many people who grow up in Christian homes. But it took me a while to walk alongside Jesus and piece together what that relationship looks like in my life. So I'm from Peru, and so and my family was always very was a family of faith, very devoted. Particularly my grandfather. He passed away in 2017. But yeah, I grew up around Christian people, but it took me a while to figure out what is that going to look for me. My family moved from Peru to Argentina when I was 2 years old, and we were in Argentina for almost 10 years, I would say. And also my dad is Chinese. So he came from China, and he married my mom. So all of that to say that, when I think about my faith, I think about God's plan for all people, not only some people, but all people, and how that looks across cultures, you know. So yeah, I would say that's how it started for me. I came to Calvin in 2008, and I think that's really what kickstarted my faith journey. And you know, what you know, how do I grow up in with Christ, and you know, how do I read my Bible? What questions do I ask myself, and what questions do I ask God? You know, I'm in this country. I was with my uncle and my aunt here, but other than them, I didn't have anybody. So it was a really important time in my life. It was sad at times, but being far away from my family kind of made me realize, okay, who am I as a child of God? And how do I figure that out? So yeah, and you know, right now I try to bring Christ in my teaching as much as I can, even though I teach at a public university. It's kind of hard to do, but just trying to do my best for Christ and for other people, and try to teach my culture and the language to other people. So yeah, that's I would say that's been my faith journey. I enjoy reading my Bible. I love it. I'm reading right now Chronicles, so it's been really nice to see Solomon's obedience and, you know, disobedience as well. So yeah.
That's really neat. Thank you for sharing all
Yeah.
that. That's really, I think as soon as you started saying a few more things, I had heard other leadership team members say like, yeah, like her dad is Chinese, her mom is Peruvian, and her husband went to Zealand Christian. Like, how can she not teach here? So you'll probably get a lot of that as you start and in the different conversations.
Yeah, I will have to make sure that, you know, I tell Aaron's teachers he's a better man now. Appreciate your patience.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, it's interesting, you know, how things unfold, and definitely, you know, even in this crisis of COVID, it's interesting to think, okay, well, God is always in control. You know, He knows what's going to happen next, and so yeah.
That's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question come up when you were saying all that, and now it slips my mind now. What draws you to middle school, 6th grade? Correct?
Oh,
You'll be teaching?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a change for sure, but I've been thinking about this, and I think middle school is the perfect age for, there's still some innocence in them, but they can also understand, you know, some difficult topics, you know, and they can do critical thinking, and they obviously have sense of humors, but there's still some innocence that's left from elementary. So I thought about that, and I, you know, because, you know, high school is fine. I would be okay in high school, but middle school is just this perfect spot, I think. And the energy that middle schoolers have. I've been around some middle schoolers, and they have tons of energy. So
Yeah, they do.
that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any other children, or just the one daughter?
Just one. Victoria, she is 3. She was born September 11 of 2016, so she'll be 4 this year.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know, she's very smart. She's very, very bossy. She doesn't yet understand that she can boss other people, other animals, but she cannot tell me and my husband what to do.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I think this is hitting children very badly, you know, because for 2 months she hasn't seen any other children.
Yeah.
So even if I think she's mostly an introvert, but even if she is, I think she still needs other people for sure.
Mhm.
We went out to Meyer yesterday, and she usually, she's very good about staying next to me with holding my hand.
Mhm.
Um, but as soon as we got to Meyer, she probably thought, "Oh my gosh, this is Disney World," and she just zoomed, like just
Oh no.
run, because we've been cooped up at home. So yeah, we're hoping that it gets back to normal at some point. How is your little one handling it?
Yeah, we have we have an almost 4-year-old and then a just turning 1-year-old.
Okay.
And I do think there's a benefit to having the 1-year-old around because the 4-year-old gets to boss her around. um, but yeah, she's definitely we're definitely sad for her for the like all the different class time that she's missed with her friends, for sure, and just like hanging out. We also we live in a farmhouse and we rent out the top floor to my wife's cousins, and
Sure.
so she sees them too, so she still has a good mixture of people that she's seeing, which we're really thankful for because she is a total extrovert and just like has so much energy and needs to like talk or do. And so yeah, that's been the hardest part. It's just having her cooped up here and trying to find things to do.
Yeah. So we yeah, Victoria is not a talker, but she's a doer. She has
Mm,
to be doing things.
yeah.
So I yesterday when they extended the order, I was at Meyer in the morning, and I thought, I'm not gonna buy any more puzzles or anything else because I'm sure we'll be fine. But then they extended the order, and I thought, shoot, I should have got more stuff for her to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is, and we're trying to make the most of it. But it's hard. It's definitely hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else do you do for fun?
Okay, so
Or yeah, which ones did you want to answer? Yeah, sorry, which ones did
that's
you want
fine.
to answer?
I had that one. What do you do for fun? The last great book that I read, and the biggest influences on my life. So I'll start with the biggest influence. Definitely my grandfather, who passed in 2017. He was a pastor. He was a pastor for, I would say, 50 years. He was the kindest man I've ever met.
Mm,
Very generous, very very patient, and he. I always think this is interesting, but I remember going to him one time and saying, "Grandpa, I am really really bored," and he said to me, "Well, go pray. Have you prayed already today?" And I said, "No, I haven't." "Well, go pray, and then we can do something." So that was his solution to everything. If I was bored, he would tell me, "Go pray, and then we'll do something." But
mm,
he was, yeah, he was just really, he was the hands and feet of Jesus to me, in many situations of my life. My parents got separated when they in 2004, and he was there for me.
mm,
And the marriage that he had with my grandmother was, the marriage that I want to have in my life. Because I didn't have that from my parents. So both of them were that example for me. They set the example for me. So him and my grandmother for sure, the biggest influences. Yeah. Hmm.
that's really special.
Yeah. And then let me see. Okay, so the last great book that I read is called Conversation in the Cathedral, and it was written by Mario Vargas Llosa, who is a Peruvian writer who won the Nobel Prize in 2010 or 2014. I'm not sure, but he won it not too long ago. And I think it was my favorite. It's my most recent favorite. a challenge to read. It's a 700-page book, and each sentence is said by a different narrator. So you have to figure out who's saying what. And so it's just a very interesting read. Once I got the hang of it, I really, really enjoyed it, because it talks about it's about Peruvian history, and um, how and why Peru is prone to having so many dictators, and just explains the social issues that underlay all of that. So yeah, that's probably my favorite as of this past year. Which I never thought I would read it, but then I started reading it. I thought, okay, I need to pull through it, and then I really liked it. So yeah, and what I do for fun, well, I read a lot, and lately I've been knitting. I think just doing something with my hands in this time of uncertainty, and seeing something get like being done as I work with my hands is just so calming to me. I don't know why, but doing something mechanic, it's just very helpful. So yeah, and obviously entertaining my 3-year-old.
Good. I'm glad that's still on the fun list. Depends on the minute, right? Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to chat, and it's good. It's really good to get to know you a little more, and I'm really excited for the school and just for the students to meet you and have you as their teacher.